that one. Alright. Now you should be able to hear me. Right, okay, so now that I got all the settings out of the way, I can get to playing this game that usually, and I'm going into it knowing nothing about it. Well, other than that I played the original Stanley Parable, back when it was just a mod, even. Um, and then when they released it on Steam officially, like a remade version of it that was much better in every way. And now we got this one. And I'm intrigued, needless to say. So I'm gonna do subtitles English, of course. You can go into this knowing nothing about this update. Have I played Stanley Parable before? Of course, yes. But like that to me, I guess. Okay. My monitor is crap. The current time. You should be able to get the current time automatically. You're installed on my computer, aren't you? Okay, of course. Well, that was ridiculous. Like... Is that an integrity check? I don't know. See how much I'm paying attention? Let's see, let's begin it. The end is never the end is never the end.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Of course.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on the keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-locking, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi.
So
Never
what's
in
different
all
yet?
his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Ah, but of course. That's exactly what I'm gonna do, because I'm following the narrative, right?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No
I
matter
can't
how
jump.
hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
You can't jump. She's got the you can't jump achievement. Cause I'm mashing space trying to jump. Ah, that's funny. So I don't.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Well, so far it's still just like the Stanley Parable. I mean, nothing seems different. But if I'm gonna disobey orders,
This was
'cause
not the correct way to the meeting room.
I wanna
and
trigger some
Stanley knew it
anarchy.
perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, Just to spend a few
Absolutely.
moments here in this immaculate, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Uh, well, I want more anarchy. I've done this 100 times already.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's
Let's go
incredible
ahead.
he
I already
wasn't
know what's
5
gonna
years
happen.
ago.
Yeah, fire me. I can't jump. You took away jump. Well, we can still fall, probably.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
No, he didn't.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
All right, the red door.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door. All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know
Anarchy.
so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see, there's nothing here. I haven't even finished
No.
building this section of the map.
Of course, it's
because
the
you were
same
never
ending.
supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what, let me take a stab in the dark at a new design and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps
Yeah.
ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
The new door. Take it for a spin. It's a trap.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version.
Unfazed.
Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
I forgot this whole joke. This, I'm gonna be like a
Oh,
meh.
of course. A 3.
3.
Really?
A
Maybe
meh.
next time we can get you to form an actual opinion, you know? Any level of critical thinking or engagement with your surroundings? Does that sound good? Think we can do that? Yes? Wonderful. Here, based on the data from your previous
I think we're
playthrough,
headed
I've
for
compiled a new
Minecraft,
version.
I
To
think.
be perfectly
Minecraft
candid,
ending.
I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
World leaderboard. Meaningless numbers that could easily be exploited through cheats. Like I give a damn if I'm dead last. Store.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
Is this game freaking...
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working
It
on,
sucked.
and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective?
I'll
Be
give it
sure
about
to
30
keep notes
seconds.
on your experience.
Just watch this horrible crap go
You
on.
heartless bastard. Did you do it because
Absolutely.
you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out, I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game, just to ease the pain? Let's see. What do we have here?
Minecraft.
Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
No, not yet.
Aha! Fascinating. What
That's
do you think
new.
this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up
That's
high in your
new.
creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose.
What the fuck?
Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating adventure into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's
No,
venture
it
out
sounds
and see what
awful.
else is out there.
This is totally new, okay? I haven't seen this yet. Space Puffs. Still can't jump. You crouch, yeah. Chlortox. Okay, yeah, that's totally new to this version. What are we parodying right now? Days Gone, those style games? Is that what we're doing a parody of?
Oh, no. No, it can't be.
It's totally new here, to me.
It is. It's an open world game. Good
Yeah.
God, quickly block it off.
No! No!
Thank goodness, Stanley, what a close call. You really wandered off into that thing, that big, open, just wandering around, no right or wrong directions, no path to follow. You can just go in any...
But I loved it.
Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably
not?
something
Why
with
not?
walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls. Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
Oh, okay.
Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big
The
rock
Rocket
for you
League
to run
parody
around in.
now.
There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed.
Am I in the Rocket League,
Okay, so what exactly
Track.
do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but
Or,
obviously there's
stadium.
no racetrack.
Whatever
Okay,
you wanna
I'm
call
seeing
it.
that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together? Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun. Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it
No.
better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on? Stanley, I have a thought. And I
Absolutely
realize
not.
I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure, then surely multiple balls makes for an even more euphoric sports experience. I'm going to try
Maybe.
hard. Here comes another ball. Yes. Oh, goodness, that really does feel amazing, doesn't it? Stanley, I'm like a child in a confectionery shop. I simply have to have more. I'm insatiable. More balls!
More balls. All the balls. Isn't that what they did in an update pretty much? A Rocket League update. They just started adding more balls.
Are you enjoying this, Stanley? Are you having fun?
And then the
Is
fans
this a
got bored
real video
immediately.
game? Well, I sure hope you're having a good time, because guess what? It's over. That's right. Your little fun comes to an end. This is my game, and what I say goes. You get to have fun when I let you, Stanley. Besides, you need someone like me to set boundaries for you. Without rules or boundaries, video games are nothing. Yes, that's what I am. I'm structure. I'm your sense of purpose. And since you decided you didn't want to play my game, now I don't want to play with you either. So, goodbye, Stanley. I'm leaving. See how you like it when I'm not around to set the rules. Somehow, I don't think you'll enjoy it as much. But who knows?
Something's
You're
up
an
the narrator's
inventive
butt
kid. You'll
right
come
now.
up with something. After all, you're the one who knows best. Take care, Stanley. Hold on. What are you doing? Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
Have I fallen into like early dev version of games, I think. And I'm falling again. And I've fallen further. See, I remember when it did look like this, but not like all dark and unlit. Like it's all just Half-Life 2 assets, or yeah, episode 1 wasn't even out yet. I remember that. Oh, something happened.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll
Absolutely, I
understand
saw
soon
new
what I was
content.
trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
He sounds pretty depressed.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Do I have to find the new endings myself again, or I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing. Am I running the correct version of the game? Yeah, Ultra Deluxe, okay. Open up that for the view. Alright, well, let's see.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
Let's skip this. Get right to it.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Oh, what could
Stanley
it
decided to
mean?
go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set
Maybe
of
there's-
2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Maybe an alternate ending can be
Yet there
found
was not a
this way.
single person here either.
Or content I haven't
Feeling
seen.
a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
How to solve a dispute with a coworker. Let it ball up inside you, take it out of his... It's all horrible advice. Using slides to ensure that every employee is okay. Everyone's unique, especially you. Number of slides on the slide table charts. Okay. What's in here? Locked door.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I'll follow him for a minute. I'll follow the narrator for a minute. See where this ends up, because I don't remember everything fully. Yeah, I remember that. This is all the same so far, again. The Rocket League thing was a new addition, though.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of
But
course,
why would I know that?
Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Some brilliant writing around what I just did there. See what happens to players that just somehow know the key code.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Alright. I've always liked the,
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Escape. I can escape. That sounds hilarious. Mind control facility. I think if I go escape, I end up dying. So, if I remember right. There's more narrative going this direction, if I remember right.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley
no.
thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
I mean, what kind of place could mind control facility be doing?
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Yeah, okay. We're all brainwashed.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it.
Now, when am I going to
His
start
own
derailing
life
this?
in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
I will destroy this place, says Stanley. What's this? Oh. So when can I derail this?
And when at last he found the source of the room's power...
On.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After
Yes,
they
I
kept you
did,
enslaved all these
absolutely.
years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted?
Absolutely.
Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example,
Really?
and I believe you'll find this pertinent,
You totally wanted me
Stanley
to turn it
suddenly
off.
realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event
Oh,
that this
okay,
machine
we're
is
gonna
activated
rewrite what this
without
machine
proper
does.
DNA
Gotcha.
identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a
This
little
is
more
new.
fun, isn't it, Stanley?
Yeah,
It's your
it
time to
is.
shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little
Dancing.
time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start.
I'm getting bored though.
What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're going to die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course,
This
that was
me
merely
versus
in this
narrator.
instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone.
Well, what does this one do?
Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My
Oh.
goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it.
Okay,
I'm
blue.
going to put some extra
I
time on the
I don't
clock.
get
Why
the
not?
puzzle here.
These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now?
Yeah,
Or did you just
absolutely.
assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is?
The music's a lot more menacing than I remember.
You're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst
Really
to keep the
cool,
action
actually.
moving along.
Oh, hey,
It's
what's
just
this?
seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here. Just you being blown.
I don't think anything's gonna happen,
Will you
honestly.
cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Okay. The end, I guess. Well, the end is never the end. There really isn't with this game.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
What could
Stanley
it mean?
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
New content. Oh, what could the door to the new content lead?
New content? What does that mean? New content.
Absolutely. That's what I'm here for.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
Why are we
The
advertising
Stanley
this to
Parable
me?
Ultra
I already
Deluxe
have it.
features exciting new content that broadens and
Oh my
expands the
God.
world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step
Get me
inside
off
and
this
see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley
ad
Parable
roller coaster.
Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
You're sure
so far
hyping
it's an
it.
elevator. Nothing
You're sure
special
hyping
yet,
it a lot.
but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
You know, it's the
is it
Half-Life
broken?
2
What's going on here?
models.
Should we
Still unsettling.
Should we be moving somewhere? Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
The only place I'm allowed to jump is inside this circle. What is that making fun of?
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness.
The mechanics
Another
behind
elevator.
how Fallout
Stanley,
76 turned out, I
have to
think.
say,
That's a dig on
initial
that.
impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could counter 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley
Nice.
Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh wait, there's more. Very good. Yes, I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Telling me how to think. Still.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no
Yeah.
respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid.
totally.
It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having
hell?
a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Bring jump back. Bring jump back. Oh, we're still in new content territory. Office looks like underground or something. Yeah, that's why they put a picture there. Because that's what I'm totally expecting to see.
Psst. Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
Why? The wrench? Okay. What do you want? Coffee nut.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look. I
Would you
call
mean
it
Skyrim?
the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap
I don't know about
re-release? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, waste.
Is the developer like... The narrator is sad. It is impossible to get this achievement. some truth to that. What?
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James
Can I burn
Stephanie
it?
Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was.
No, it
It was
wasn't.
literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
I'm confused.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games, and one that offers some of the
Oh
most
my
enjoyable,
God, shut
surprising,
up.
and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall
That I
of
do
the
agree
loved
with.
video game memories.
The serious room? Don't know how to get in there. Can't pick stuff up.